Hello everyone, so it's part 2 of the Corsa Head gasket. Again, as the last video started, the garage is an absolute mess and I need to get it tidied up, so I'm going to do that first, and then I guess we'll get stuck into pulling the Corsa apart again. So first job, fit the timing locking set. I need to drain the coolant again and then strip it all down, get the head off again. I think, like I said before, I think it's the valves, but we'll get the head off and have a look. So, as you can see, I don't know if you can see behind me, the cylinder head is off the Corsa again, and I've made a discovery as to what may be the problem. So I'm going to show you now. Cylinder 3 was the one that was a problem. So I've took this brake cleaner bottle and filled this well up. This, what do you call it? I don't know. Combustion chamber bit. Filled that up with brake cleaner, and you can see it slowly drains away. So I looked on the exhaust side and that is bone dry. Looked on the inlet side and it's all running out there and coming along there, as you can see. So that tells me that the inlet valves are leaking. So I shall fetch those out, check for any damage, and if there's no damage I shall lap them, see if I can clean up the seats, make them better. I did have the seats cut at the machine shop, but clearly it didn't work very well, did it? So I'll get that done, get those valves out. I've got to strip the cams off and stuff, but I'm going to have a break for lunch now and crack on after. So, got the valves out of that cylinder 3. I don't know how well you can see that, but I think it's quite clear that that's not been sealing. Either of those, will it focus in the middle there? Don't know how we're going to focus on those. There we go. You can see those haven't been sealing, so they're straight. I've rolled them. You can get an impression of how straight they are by rolling them on a bench, and you'll see the valve stem will feel it. They're not bent. So I'm going to lap those back in again, and then check for any further leaks, and then reassemble the engine again. So, as before, I've refitted the valves after lapping them. I've poured, see these twin port engines, there's separate ports. So I've filled each one with brake cleaner, and you can see on this side, let me move that. You can see on this side that this one's still leaking, but this one isn't. So I've got more work to do on that valve. I've got the I've re-lapped the valves and tested again with some brake cleaner across the top, and they're sealing really well now, so there's now no reason why it should be down on compression. It was, what was it, about 160 psi 1, 2 and 4, and then cylinder 3 had about 60 psi, so that would show misfire on cylinder 3, and then the engine would probably shut down the injector or something like that. So cylinder head can go back on now. I've just got to do a real quick clean up of the surface of the head and the block. It hasn't overheated this time, so I've not sending the head for skimming again. I'm just going to put it back on with a new gasket, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll do that now. I won't video it. I went through all that in the last video, so I'll just bolt the head on and catch up with you afterwards. You join me in the garage again. I've had a couple of weeks break since the last bit of the video. I've not really carried on, but as usual, as you can see, the garage is a mess, so I need to tidy up again before I can crack on. I've got somebody interested in buying the car, so I really need to get cracking and get it finished. So let me tidy up again, and then I'll show you where I've got to. So this is where we're at. As you can see, I've got most of the engine built up. I've got a bit of work to do on the exhaust manifold, buttoning that back up. I can't actually, because it's been so long, I can't actually remember which nuts I've done and which ones I haven't, so I need to check all of them. I've got all of this cover bolted on here. I've not got the crank pulley in. Thought I had, but I hadn't. Don't know why I took that out, but it's not in. So I think the next job I'm going to do is, I've got tools and bits out all over the bench, so the next job I'm going to do those bolts, put that middle bit back in down there. Then I can take my locking set off and make sure it turns over freely, and then once I've done that I can just bolt it all back together, I guess. So I'll get cracking with that now and catch up with you in a minute. It's all put back together now. It just needs filling up with water. I can't find one of the exhaust manifold nuts, so I need to get the car out of the garage and have a good sweep up. I've got cardboard stashed down the side and tools out all over the place still. So it is, what time is it? 20 to 10 now. So I'm not going to try and start it now. I'll leave that till tomorrow. So I've turned it all over by hand. All the locking tools are out, everything's back on, belt's back on, engine's mounted again. It's just not got water in, so tomorrow I'll fill it up with water. I'll drain the oil, put some new oil and a new oil filter in, which I've got somewhere. Yep, somewhere definitely. And then be ready to go. It is tomorrow now, and I think before I do the oil and the coolant, I think I'm going to give it a crank and see what happens. So watch this. That is excellent news. I've got the garage door shut, so I'm not running it for long. I better open it up and let some exhaust fumes out. But a little bit of lifter rattle. Once the oil pressure builds up and gets through them all, that'll go away. Other than that, it was running on all 4 cylinders quite smoothly. I've now got the Corsa outside of the garage. It's running like a dream. So that's the Corsa off to its new home. A friend of mine knew somebody who's looking for a nice little car, little small run around, cheap, and that car was perfect. It had only done 69,000 miles. Nice clean little car. Got a new timing chain and head gasket, new oil and filter, ready to go. It's got had some new tyres on it. Previous owner put on. They put some new shock absorbers on, and it was just a nice little car. So that was a nice, easy purchase, fix, and sell on kind of thing. I hope to do more of those. It's been a bit slow. I don't think Corsa head gaskets are particularly popular to watch, but I've enjoyed doing it. I've got another cooling system related problem on another car coming up. I've bought 3 other cars since Corsa, so my next video will be a little bit of talk on those cars, and we'll dive into the cooling system on the 3 Series. So that'll be it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.